Welcome to the Bare Metal Cyber CCISO Prepcast. This series helps you prepare for the exam with focused explanations and practical context. Advanced incident response goes beyond containment and cleanup. It represents the strategic evolution from a reactive discipline into a proactive, intelligence-driven, and enterprise-aligned capability. The modern CISO must ensure that the incident response function matures to meet the complexity of today's threat landscape, integrating real-time analytics, threat intelligence, and automated workflows into every stage of the life scope. Effective incident response now requires coordination across legal, HR, compliance, and IT operations, with clear escalation paths and executive oversight. Incidents are no longer just technical events. They are business events with strategic impact. As such, incident response must be deeply integrated into risk management and supported by board-level accountability and governance structures that reinforce transparency and resilience. Threat intelligence is central to advanced incident response. Tactical intelligence includes indicators of compromise such as IP addresses, domains, or file hashes. Operational intelligence focuses on adversary tools, infrastructure, and procedures. Strategic intelligence analyzes long-term trends, motives, and geopolitical drivers. The CISO must ensure that intelligence is curated and fed into SIEM, SOAR, and endpoint platforms. Integration enables dynamic threat detection, alert prioritization, and response enrichment. When alerts contain known IOCs or threat actor TTPs, analysts can act with greater speed and confidence. Enriching alerts with adversary profiles helps triage teams assess relevance and risk. Intelligence should be embedded into response playbooks, ensuring that responses are contextual and adaptive. A well-integrated threat intelligence capability not only informs response, but also helps identify gaps in prevention, detection, and reporting. Effective triage and correlation techniques separate high-value alerts from noise. Incidents must be prioritized based on the threat actor's behavior, the systems impacted, and the data involved. Triage requires correlation of logs, network flows, endpoint activity, and cloud telemetry to build a full picture of what is occurring. Timeline reconstruction, identifying what happened and when, supports root cause analysis. Mapping threat paths helps reveal lateral movement or privilege escalation. Linking related alerts across multiple assets or users may expose coordinated campaigns or supply chain attacks. Filtering false positives is essential for conserving analyst time. Techniques like behavior modeling, machine learning, and contextual enrichment can assist with triage. Without intelligent triage, resources are wasted, response is delayed, and risk increases. The CSO must ensure that triage tools and processes support analyst decision-making and align with business priorities. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other podcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Automation and orchestration platforms, commonly referred to as SOAR, enable rapid, consistent response across tools and teams. Common SOAR use cases include alert enrichment, automated containment, disabling user accounts or isolating endpoints, ticket generation, and reporting. To be effective, SOAR platforms must be configured with clear triggers, workflows, and escalation logic. For example, a ransomware alert may trigger automatic file isolation and internal communication. However, not every alert should be automated. High-impact or ambiguous cases require human oversight. SOAR can reduce mean time to respond and standardize actions, but only if carefully tuned. The CISO must measure how much time is saved and how much risk is reduced through automation. Integration challenges, false starts, and workflow tuning require attention and governance. A poorly implemented SOAR initiative can add confusion rather than clarity. Successful orchestration enhances response maturity and scalability. Containment and eradication become increasingly complex in modern environments. Systems must be isolated quickly, but without disrupting critical operations. In environments with limited visibility, overzealous containment may have unintended side effects. Eradication involves identifying and removing persistence mechanisms, such as scheduled tasks, registry entries, or backdoor user accounts. Re-imaging hosts and verifying clean backups are often necessary. Lateral movement must be investigated to ensure containment is comprehensive. Privileged accounts and domain controllers are common targets and require special scrutiny. Telemetry and post-containment monitoring are essential to validate that the threat is truly gone. Without proper validation, malware or threat actors may re-emerge. The CISO must balance containment urgency with business continuity and ensure that controls support rapid surgical response across complex infrastructures. Cloud and hybrid architectures introduce unique challenges for incident response. Organizations now operate across SaaS, IaaS, and multi-crewed environments, each with distinct detection and response requirements. Cloud-native tools such as AWS GuardDuty, Microsoft Defender for Cloud, or Google Security Command Center provide visibility but require expertise to interpret effectively. Incidents involving federated identity or OAuth token abuse are increasingly common. Shared responsibility models must be understood. CSPs may be responsible for infrastructure, but the organization is responsible for access control and configuration. Forensics in cloud environments can be difficult due to ephemeral instances and limited logging retention. The CISO must ensure cloud readiness through pre-concurred logging, evidence preservation procedures, and documented CSP coordination plans. Without cloud-specific playbooks, response teams may waste critical time trying to adapt on the fly. Crisis management requires more than technical containment. It demands coordinated leadership response. When an incident crosses thresholds of business disruption or regulatory impact, crisis response plans must be triggered. This includes notifying executives and convening leadership teams from legal, HR, communications, and operations. A defined cadence of communication helps manage uncertainty and maintains control of the narrative. Tracking key decisions, escalation approvals, and status updates provides clarity during chaos. The CISO must ensure that crisis procedures are documented, rehearsed, and synchronized with business continuity and disaster recovery plans. When debriefing executives post-incident, the CISO should present clear summaries of impact, lessons learned, and what has changed as a result of the incident. These briefings help restore trust and set the tone for future improvements. Legal, regulatory, and forensic considerations are inseparable from advanced incident response. Evidence must be preserved in a manner that supports legal requirements and investigative processes. Chain of custody must be documented for any evidence that may be used in litigation or law enforcement action. Breach notification rules, such as those defined in GDPR, HIPAA, or state data protection laws, must be observed. Timing is often critical, with notification deadlines measured in hours or days. Legal counsel must be involved early to interpret obligations and manage litigation risk. Internal or external forensic experts can assist with investigation and evidence preservation. The CISO must maintain relationships with these experts and ensure response playbooks define how and when they are engaged. Regulatory reporting must be accurate, defensible, and timely. Poor handling of legal and forensic aspects can lead to fines, lawsuits, or long-term reputational damage. Metrics and continuous improvement define the maturity of the incident response function. Common metrics include mean time to detect, MTDD, mean time to respond, MTTR, incident recurrence rate, and alert-to-trage ratio. These metrics must be tracked consistently and reviewed with governance bodies. Maturity models such as the NIST CSF response tiers, SANS maturity levels, or CMMI provide frameworks for assessing and improving capability. After-action reviews should identify what worked, what failed, and what can be improved. These reviews should drive updates to playbooks, policy, and training. Benchmarking against peers or frameworks helps identify areas for improvement and support justification for investment. Data from past incidents should also be used to inform training programs and tabletop exercises. A learning-oriented approach turns incidents into stepping stones toward greater resilience. On the CCISO exam, advanced incident response appears in scenario-based and knowledge-focused questions. Candidates should be familiar with terminology such as SOAR, IOC, triage, crisis communication, and chain of custody. Questions may explore how to respond to a breach in a hybrid environment, how to manage executive communication, or how to integrate automation into response workflows. The exam emphasizes the CISO's strategic role in oversight, escalation, legal engagement, and alignment with business continuity. Integration with audit, compliance, and risk management functions is also assessed. A CISO who leads effective incident response not only contains threats, but transforms them into opportunities for visibility, maturity, and executive trust. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Bare Metal Cyber CISO Prepcast. For more episodes, tools, and study support, visit us at baremetalcyber.com.